Hey, this is Bob Wiggum with Remax Victory and Affiliates. I just wanted to, you've probably heard in the news that there's a major lawsuit that's about to be completely settled between the National Association of Realtors and the plaintiffs. The All the facts aren't clear yet. There's a lot of things that are pretty good, pretty actually going to happen, and I'll touch on those here in a minute. But this is just a brief update to let you know some of the major points of this settlement. Basically, it's not completely settled yet, but it will be because the target for implementation of all these changes, as it affects buyers and sellers as well as brokers, is mid-July. So basically, the reason for the lawsuit, as I understand it, and just for uh, disclosure, I'm not an attorney. I don't claim to be an attorney. I don't even want to be an attorney, if that makes any sense to you. But I'm just sharing with you what I think I know so far. That the reason for the lawsuit was to provide increased transparency for buyers regarding commissions. In the past, the buyer had no idea how much commission the realtor was earning on these when they bought a hat when the buyer closed on a property. The seller always picked that up. There were cases when that wasn't true, and there is a document that up to the beginning of this year had been not required, but available if the realtor and the buyer want to use it. It's called a buyer agency agreement, and basically it lays out the cost structure of using hiring a realtor to help the buyer through this very long process of buying a house. Very detailed process too. Now, and that was in the past, the commission was included on the MLS so that the buyer agent knew what they were going to get paid from the seller when the property was closed. Well, now that's not going to be allowed on the MLS. It'll have to be an outside of the MLS agreement between brokers and buyer and seller. So essentially, what the rates were or are 6 to 7% total when a listing went on the market, and that was shared with the part of that was shared with the buyer agent, buyer broker. Well, now to find out what that if there is a shared commission, the buyer agent has to call and communicate with the listing agent. Will the seller cooperate in the commission? So if not, then that if the buyer wants to use the realtor to do the transaction, the buyer will be responsible for that commission. And to facilitate that process, that as of now, the buyer agency agreement will be required before a realtor can show a property to a buyer. So there's going to be some changes in the way buyer agents and buyers communicate and relate to each other. So that's all I have right now. The main points are that no longer will the commission involved with the listing agent be available on the MLS. And secondly, there will be a buyer agency agreement required between the buyer brokers and the buyers. So if you have any, I'll keep you updated on this periodically when things go along and changes occur. But basically, everything's still the same as it has been in the past. It's just how the information is communicated about who's responsible for commissions. So if you have any questions, you can check out the end and the beginning of this, and I've had my contact information, so I'll be glad to try to answer any questions you might have. This is Bob out.